This video does not confirm or diagnose any medical condition. Any health-related mentions are purely alleged and discussed in a general commentary context.
Are Remy Ma and Papoose secretly circling back to each other? And is that the real reason Claressa Shields has been unraveling online lately? Because listen closely, the pieces are finally starting to line up. This entire situation is getting darker, messier, and way more complicated than anyone expected. And trust me, we have to unpack every layer of it. Today, it's all about Remy Ma, Papoose, and Claressa Shields. A tangled triangle that has the internet whispering, arguing, and choosing sides. And this right here? This is exactly why people warn you about getting involved with someone who's already taken. Because when you step into a situation that was already sealed, protected, and claimed, it never ends quietly. It always ends in chaos. And now, that chaos is spilling out in public. But before we even touch the Remy and Papoose rumors, we need to talk about Claressa Shields. Because lately, it's looking like someone from her past might suddenly be back in her present. Out of nowhere, Claressa jumps on Snapchat. Not to talk, not to explain, but to show. Fans are calling it proof of life. A quiet post, a calculated angle, and right there in the background, him, standing beside her at the gym. No caption, no explanation, just enough to let the internet know. This story is far from over.
My husband's like, you know what? You're really pretty. So I'm like, what? Typical Bronx chick, right? What? You're like, nah, like, you need to work on your attitude. So I'm like, what do you mean? I'm like, what do you mean work on my attitude? He's like, your attitude blocks your beauty. He's like, when you're being mean and nasty and your attitude is how your attitude is.
Spotting him right there in the gym, training her, adjusting her stance, guiding her punches like nothing ever changed. That single clip sent fans into a frenzy. Because suddenly everyone was asking the same question. Did something quietly restart behind closed doors? But hold on, it gets stranger. Before that video even surfaced, Claressa had already posted something that had the timeline in stitches. A photo. Innocent on the surface. But if we're being honest, it looked exactly like a giant sweet potato. And somehow, the internet decided that wasn't random at all. No caption. No explanation. Just a post that people swear was loaded with hidden meaning. The timing? Way too perfect. Because right when rumors were heating up, she drops that? Yeah, something was definitely simmering. And the funniest part? Everybody remembered Claressa had already sworn she would never talk while eating again. Ever. Yet there she was, breaking her own rule. Chewing. Talking. Posting like nothing mattered. But let's rewind for a second. Because Claressa hadn't even been online like that lately. After that humiliating moment when she called into Hood Champion Sports, pretending to be someone else, while sounding exactly like herself, everything went silent. She tried to hide behind an alias. The internet clocked her immediately. And once she got exposed, she vanished. No stories, no lives, no posts, just gone. Until suddenly, out of nowhere, she reappears on Snapchat, acting carefree, posting randomly, talking like she never disappeared, unbothered, unfazed, unexplained. But here's the detail that really made people pause. From what viewers could tell, Claressa didn't cook a single thing for Papoose. No plates, no stove, no come eat babe moment. In fact, you could hear her casually tell someone in the background. That food? That was what Papoose ordered. Translation? Delivery. DoorDash. Uber Eats. Takeout. Which means no intimate dinner. No shared kitchen energy. No comfortable, domestic vibe. And that says a lot. Because if a man isn't even letting you cook for him, if he's ordering his own food, if he's careful about how he's seen in your space, that usually means one thing. He's visiting, not staying. And that tiny detail spoke louder than any caption ever could.
None of that's true, man. None of it. All of that was fugazi. I come from a big family. Like, if you really follow me and you're not just around for the gossip, you see my daughter, you see my sisters, you see my mother, you see so many beautiful women in my life who love me to death. You know what I mean? Not only because I was there for them when they need me, I fought all their battles.
But what truly set the internet on fire was the moment Claressa suddenly snapped into a full-blown monologue. Out of nowhere, she launches into this speech about haters, fake stories, twisted narratives, people misrepresenting her life. At first, she tried to sound calm, collected, unbothered, like she was floating above the chaos. But then, the tone shifted. And that's when everyone realized the piece was performative. Because suddenly the disclaimers started spilling out. One after another. I'm gonna do better though. I'm learning that these crazy people don't care about the truth. And right there, that's when the mask slipped. She kept talking, saying the lies are more entertaining than facts, so that's what people will keep choosing. Then she dropped another line real carefully, that she's not about to let miserable people ruin her beautiful best life. That sentence? She wanted that heard. She wanted that screenshot. She wanted that narrative planted. But she wasn't done. Minutes later, another post appears. No slander will be tolerated. With laughing emojis. Like it was all funny. Like it didn't touch her. Like she was totally fine. Then she doubles down, talking about how she doesn't owe trolls anything. How this is her page. Her beautiful life. Her blessed life. Her successful life. The energy? Defensive. Bold. Borderline aggressive. And everybody knew exactly who that message was for. The people flooding her snaps. Her comments. Her DMs. The ones asking the question she refuses to answer. She basically said, I'll block whoever I want, whenever I want, and I don't owe a soul an explanation. But let's be honest. You can't block the internet. Once a story catches fire, you don't get to decide when it burns out. Especially not with Papoose's name hanging in the middle of it. Because until people see one thing, real paperwork. A real divorce decree. Proving Papoose and Remy Ma are officially finished. Nobody is buying the unbothered act. Every post gets analyzed. Every emoji gets dissected. Every word gets replayed. And speaking of Remy Ma, this is where the plot thickens. Because just when the speculation hit peak levels, a clip suddenly resurfaced. And when I tell you it changed everything, it changed everything. Now, full honesty, it's not 100% clear if this video is brand new or pulled from the archives. But here's what made people sit up straight. It was uploaded on Remy Ma's official YouTube channel, the one with nearly 200,000 subscribers. Meaning this wasn't a leak. This wasn't a fan edit. This was intentional. And the timing? Uncomfortably perfect. The video dropped just days ago, basically yesterday. And we already know that around that exact time, Papoose was still in New York. With Remy Ma. With their daughter. With a family. So now the question becomes, coincidence? Or strategy? Because that upload felt less like content, and more like a message. Now listen closely, I want to keep this completely transparent. The clip runs about 23 minutes long. And yes, there are moments that make it feel like it might be older footage. But here's the part nobody can ignore. The upload date. That choice. That timing. It feels deliberate. Almost like Remy wanted to quietly remind the world what her connection with Papoose really looks like. And if that's true, then this triangle just got a whole lot more dangerous.
A brick wall, but when you're being nice, it's like a brick wall that's removed and I can see all your beauty. Like, bruh, all you have to do is say I look cute today. Like, you didn't have to do all that. You didn't have to make this whole philosophy, okay? Say I look cute this morning. Just say I'm glowing this morning, okay? I scrub my face, nice and shiny, it's clean. Just say that, alright?
And inside that clip, Remy says something that made a lot of people stop breathing for a second. She smiles and says, my husband tells me I'm beautiful, and he tells me to fix my attitude, but he still reminds me I'm beautiful. Now listen. That line? That carries a very specific energy. That doesn't sound like a woman who's distant, or bitter, or disconnected. That sounds like someone who feels anchored, safe, comfortable, emotionally settled. That kind of warmth doesn't just fall out of the sky. It feels like it's coming from a place of calm, a place of familiarity, maybe even reconnection. And what makes this even more interesting, Remy Ma has never been insecure. Not once. She's always been confident, always unapologetic, always proud of how she looks. She's shown herself barefaced. No filters. No glam. And every time, she made one thing clear. Her husband loves her exactly like that. Natural. Unpolished. Real. That confidence? It sends one message loud and clear. I'm good where I am. But here's where it gets suspicious. When this video went live, Papoose was still in New York. Still with Remy. Still with their daughter. Still around the family. And suddenly the timing starts looking intentional. Now, to be fair, there are moments in the clip that suggest it might not be brand new. She mentions a recent death in the family. Talks about taking the kids to Disney. Details that sound like they belong to an earlier chapter. So yes, it's possible this footage was recorded months ago. But here's the part nobody can explain away. Why post it now? Why choose this moment? With rumors exploding. With Claressa trending. With Papoose caught in the middle. That upload doesn't feel random. It feels like a signal. Almost like Remy was quietly saying, when my husband is in town, when I call Papoose, he comes. And that line? That alone screams. The bond is still there. At the very least as co-parents. But let's be real. This didn't feel like co-parenting energy. This felt personal, intentional, calculated. And the more you watch it, the more it starts feeling like that message wasn't meant for the fans at all. It was meant for one person, Claressa Shields. Because think about it. If you're really done, if the marriage is really over, if divorce papers are really in motion, why post something that intimate? Why remind the world of your chemistry? Why showcase comfort? Why no? The timing, the tone, the words. Everything points to one quiet message being sent. Don't get too comfortable. Because new clip or old clip, new rumors or old rumors, at the end of the day, that is still her husband. And this triangle just officially entered dangerous territory.
I don't just do it for the person that I'm with. I do this for my children. Like I've had to put hands on my daughter's boyfriends to protect them. I'm being honest. I'm a protector, bro, and a provider. So anything outside of that, it doesn't go with me. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's very impossible. My grandmother has 17 kids, man. So I got over 90 cousins, a very big family, and my family looked to me for those things. You know what I'm saying? As a provider and a supporter and all of that. So it's hard to put that on.
So
it's like, it doesn't go.
And let's really sit with this for a moment. The entire mood of that upload? Pure confidence. That's not accidental. That's the kind of vibe you get when the right song is playing in the background. You're feeling yourself. And there's a man right next to you whispering in your ear how flawless you look, how beautiful you are, how nobody else compares. That energy? You cannot fake that. And the fans felt it instantly. Through the screen, through the tone, through the smile. Now compare that to the other side of this triangle. Because while Remy is glowing in quiet confidence, Claressa Shields looks like she's chasing the same warmth from Papoose, but it's not landing the same. The connection, the ease, the natural chemistry. It just isn't there. And that's the part that hurts the most. Because this right here is exactly why people warn you. Never involve yourself with a married man. It never ends peacefully. Because deep down, Papoose never truly wanted to walk away from Remy. That's why, even when things were falling apart, he was still sleeping on her couch. Still around. Still holding onto the bond. Until eventually, Remy was the one who finally said enough. Told him to come pick up his clothes, already folded. Already ready. And that sentence alone speaks volumes. Then remember, it was also Remy who revealed that at one point, Papoose was allegedly pawning her jewelry, doing whatever he could to scrape up cash, while she was carrying the weight, paying the bills, funding the lifestyle, holding everybody down. And one of her biggest frustrations? Being tired of footing the bill. But now things look different. Now he's working again. Now there's income again. Now there's money coming in. Now there's drip. Now he's not sleeping on couches anymore. And suddenly, the energy between them looks renewed. Which makes you wonder, was money always part of the problem? And if so, is that why Remy suddenly looks open again? But here's where Claressa's narrative starts falling apart. Because she keeps calling everything a lie, everything fake, everything twisted. But let's be honest, when Papoose is in New York, you are not there. You are not in the room. You are not in the house. You are not around the family. You have no idea what that man is doing when you're not present. And at the end of the day, that is still a married man. Still somebody's husband. You can bring up Remy's boyfriends. Talk about entanglements. Rewrite history all you want. But the truth remains. You do not actually know what is happening between Remy Ma and Papoose. Because if this divorce were truly happening, it would already be over. Remy herself admitted it was supposed to be simple. Everything prepared. Everything private. No court drama. No headlines. All Papoose had to do was sign. And he refused. The only reason paperwork even surfaced in May of last year? Most likely because Claressa was complaining, pressuring, demanding clarity. Think about it. You're doing interviews, showing up on the Breakfast Club, getting attention, building a brand. And yet, this unresolved marriage is still hanging over your head. That's exactly the position Claressa Shields is in right now. And when the internet exposed photos of Remy and Papoose spending the holidays together, no kids, no group, just the two of them, Claressa panicked, jumped online claiming, that's his ex-wife, not Remy. Tried to flip the narrative. But then, the receipts dropped. And in seconds, the internet proved her wrong. And in that moment, everything she had been denying started looking very real.
As a partner, I had to learn to not be so overprotective and allow her to go out there and do her thing and just support her decision. Like I said, sometimes when you love a person, you're always constantly giving advice, trying to stop them from doing things. But she told me to just stand back and just support my decision and what I want to do. It might not align with yours, but I got this. You know what I mean? So
after all that, Claressa tried to play it smooth, unbothered, unfazed, like none of it touched her. And you already know, Papoose probably whispered something like, ignore the noise. Lock in. Focus on your fight. But even with that advice, she still doesn't see the full picture. Because Claressa is moving like this is a trophy to win. Like this is a contest. A scoreboard. A prize. Instead of realizing, she stepped into something layered. Emotional. Complicated. And unfinished. And what makes this even crazier is the history between these two women. Because let's not forget, before any of this, Claressa was in Remy's DMs, asking for styling tips, trying to bond, trying to be cool, trying to build a connection. She wanted friendship. And now, she's with the same man. Let that sink in. How do you go from cis energy to sharing her husband? That alone tells you, this was never about loyalty, never about respect, just desire. And when you move like that, karma always comes back around. Quietly, slowly, but inevitably. And the truth is, this triangle is already collapsing. Claressa just doesn't see it yet, because in this situation, she's already lost. Remy doesn't even have to speak. Her presence does all the talking. She's the one who can call and Papoose shows up. Anytime, anywhere. And that's been proven again and again. So let's connect the dots. Papoose flies to New York. Days later, that video appears. Coincidence? Or message? Because whether the clip was old or new, the meaning was loud and clear. My husband is here. My husband thinks I'm beautiful. My husband tells me I look good when I wake up. And notice something important. Remy didn't need to convince strangers. She didn't need long speeches. Didn't need rants. Didn't need disclaimers. The energy spoke for itself. And meanwhile, this keeps getting darker for Claressa. Because instead of protecting her legacy, instead of staying locked in on her career, instead of building history in the ring, she's turning Papoose into her entire identity. And that's the tragedy. The world should be talking about her championships, her discipline, her greatness. But instead, her name is now tied to drama, marriage, receipts, insecurity, rants, anger. Every post gets dissected. Every emotion gets judged. Every reaction becomes a headline. And it's not hate anymore. It's fatigue. People are tired of the circus. Tired of the denial. Tired of the spirals. Tired of watching a champion lose herself over a situation that was never stable to begin with. Because let's be clear, nobody wants to see Claressa fall. Nobody is rooting against her. People just want her to step back into her power. But right now, she's stuck in an illusion, thinking she's winning, while the entire internet sees she's losing herself. And here's the part nobody wants to say out loud. I don't think Remy Ma is stopping anytime soon. Whether she and Papoose are officially back together or not, she is enjoying this. The timing, the posts, the clips, all strategic. She knows exactly where Claressa is sensitive, and she's pressing every button, quietly, effortlessly, and winning without saying a word. So now the real question becomes, what is actually happening here? Are Remy and Papoose rebuilding in private? Or is Remy simply stirring the pot, dropping old clips, posting subtle reminders, and shaking Claressa's confidence right before her biggest moments? Because let's be honest, Remy's timing is too perfect to be accidental. Or maybe, and this theory has people talking, maybe that video was her way of saying, me and my husband are solid. Don't get it twisted. That's soft flex. The kind that says everything without saying anything at all. Because that post? It didn't feel like nostalgia. It felt like territory. And either way, Claressa is feeling the pressure. Every move watched. Every post analyzed. Every reaction magnified. And maybe, just maybe, it's time for her to log off. Refocus. Recenter. Protect her legacy. Because while she's busy defending herself online, Remy is moving in silence. And rewriting the narrative without breaking a sweat. This whole situation? Messy. Explosive. Addictive. And impossible to look away from. Because when love, pride, and ego collide in public, it never ends quietly. So now I want to hear from you. Do you think Remy and Papoose are really back together in secret? Or is Remy just trolling, playing chess, and getting under Claressa's skin on purpose? Or was that video her quiet way of saying, that's still my husband? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Because this story is far from over. And something tells me, the next chapter is about to be even louder.